Okay, so now what we got to do is we got to start learning about layers. Now, layers are really critical on this project. And you can see that we've already got layer 1 here. And if I click on this little window, and if layers aren't showing up, okay, it's this icon, or you can go to Window and choose Layers. Look, there's a shortcut, F7. Didn't know that. Learn something new every day. So F7, if we press that, is going to open and close that. Okay, so hit F7 if this isn't open. And you're going to see this layer 1 right there where we have our photo, but we want to make a new layer. Okay, and we just click on this button here to make a new layer. All right, and we double click and we can give it a name. And I'm going to just type in head because I'm going to trace my head on this next section here. And this is how we need it set up. We need it blue and we need the eye open. Okay, and if we have blue eyes, that's how I remember it, right? Then I know that my image is ready for me to write on. And what I'm going to do is click on the pen tool, come down here and make sure that I turn the fill off. Okay, when I'm tracing things, I want the fill off so that I can just continue to see. And now I'm just going to basically, just like I did before, I'm going to trace my head out. Now, most of you have hair, right? So like if I was tracing my son here, Caleb, I could click anywhere up here and it just doesn't matter because the top of his head doesn't matter, right? I can just go click, click, click. And then I can see the side of his face right here, right? So I can kind of like, so just kind of trace the side of his head there. And then kind of I can see his little cheek pops out there a little bit. All right, so I'm just kind of tracing around. And you very rarely get it perfect on the first try. And I really messed that one up because I intended on doing mine. I should have zoomed in a little. But note that, you know, I traced up in his hair and it's all like kind of squared off, but it doesn't matter because his hair is going to cover it later. The only part that I need to make sure that I'm tracing well are these outside edges. And I'm glad that I messed up because I want to show you something. With the pen tool, right, I just finished. A couple things you can do. The first thing you can do is if you hold Control, it switches back to the last arrow you used. Now we've got the black arrow, which we don't want. We want the white arrow. So click on the white arrow and then the pen. And now when we push on Control, when we've got the pen selected, you can see that it grabs that white arrow and that lets us kind of click here and sort of drag these handles around, and it lets me just sort of nudge all these points so that I can get this face looking a little bit more like it should, right? So this is all just a matter of kind of playing with it, and eventually it starts to make more sense. But I understand that it's a little weird at the beginning, and guess what? It is for everybody. There's no shortcut. It's only practice, practice, practice. And one day, all of a sudden, it just clicks. It's starting to look pretty awesome now. All right, so there we go. You can see that I took the time to get that face right, okay, those edges, especially those edges here. I didn't mess with up here because it doesn't matter. It's going to be covered by the hair later. But just kind of trace those edges, okay? And now the secret to getting the color right really quick, just kind of click on this eyedropper tool and just suck up some of the color and it look kind of pink. So Control Z and just click another spot. Still a little pink. Really pink. Okay, so there's kind of a skin color, right? See, and you can also click on the neck right here around. It's always going to kind of, as you click around, be different colors, but you know, that's actually that's pretty much, you know, his color, I think, right around in there. All right, so once I get the color right, then what I do on my layers palette is I want to lock the head layer and then hide it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is because I wanted to trace myself, I'm going to unlock that layer and I'll trace myself also. Maybe I'll be working on two here. I'm going to just do this right now real quick, and I'll catch you guys on the next video and we'll start talking about the next step.